Day and welcome back. Like I mentioned earlier, we kick off Healthy Living, where we talk about all things health and wellness, and today we will be talking about family health. With me in studio from ExpressCare is Dr. Jitka Lom. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's go ahead and just get started. What are some of the biggest health problems you see in families here on island?
Well, I think we have to put diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol up there along with obesity. These are all lifestyle problems that we're seeing on Guam. Our food is very delicious and rich here, and sometimes people don't get quite as much exercise as they need. And then there's a strong genetic component, so those diseases tend to run rampant on the island.
And what do you recommend? I guess since you said diabetes is probably the biggest illness here, what do you recommend for people?
Right. I try to tell people to think back to their ancient ancestors, to the lifestyles that they led, because at that time they were very healthy, powerful people. In the ancient days, they would be exercising a lot because they had to, work hard to get their food. They would be eating a diet that was rich in plants, in vegetables, and in fish, rather than the processed foods that we are eating these days.
Do you see more skin problems on Guam because of our climate, and how do you best protect yourself from the sun?
Well, on Guam, one of the most common problems that we see with skin are fungal or yeast infections of the skin, such as the local name Jaff Jaff. A lot of people will complain about that, little white spots on their skin. Sometimes they are quite itchy. And or even ringworm, and quite a lot of local people will believe that this is due to a hygiene problem.
Right.
It's not necessarily. It tends to be because people are perspiring a lot, and the fungus will land on the skin and then create a rash. So in ringworm, the rash will be kind of red and irritated, whereas in the typical Jaff Jaff, or the medical name is Tinea versicolor, in that condition, the skin will become pale with white dots, pinkish color sometimes. So we'll see a lot of that on Guam.
And that's just basically you can just put like a topical type of cream? Or?
Well, we can treat it in various ways for the Jaff Jaff, for the local fungal problem. Quite often people will use Selsun Blue or other shampoos over the counter. Those don't necessarily work all that well because the condition will recur. So we'll use an oral tablet by mouth that's an antifungal agent, and that'll take care of it pretty nicely.
Well, even if people generally feel well month to month, how often should they get a checkup, and does that the same go for children?
Well, it would be ideal if people could come in for an annual health exam once a year. That's to check for new conditions that may have come up in the past year for them, particularly if they're over the age of 30, 35. For ladies, of course, we ask that you get a pap smear every year to check for cervical changes or infections. For young children, of course, they should complete their immunizations, but once they're school age 5 and so on, it's nice to see them once a year to make sure that they're developing normally, that they're growing, that their height and weight are normal, and that they have no developmental or behavioral problems, school problems that we could help with.
For our viewers out there who aren't familiar with ExpressCare, it is a unique clinic because it really offers a wide range of treatments and is conveniently located within a shopping center. What makes your establishment more efficient than some of the others that we have here on Guam?
Well, I think our clinic is different in that we are practically paperless. We're located in a shopping center, and we operate more like a store where people can walk in without making an appointment and be seen pretty quickly. On the whole, we try to keep our waiting time between 20 and 30 minutes at the longest. They can come in for very minor complaints like a TB skin test, or for cough, cold, sore throat, and all of that, for a physical, or they can also come for cosmetic services that are not offered elsewhere on Guam. Some of the treatments that we offer are laser hair removal and services to improve your complexion.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to take your questions after this.